All right, y'all. So this is a continuation of the video that I made yesterday talking about Peter Pan syndrome and your expectations not being realistic with reality. And I briefly talked about how this applied to my life when it came to wholesaling real estate, when it comes to running a clothing brand, when it comes to trading, when it comes to getting results in the gym, when it comes to relationships. Your expectation is your greatest superpower, but it's also your greatest downfall if you you make the expectation for your life the end all be all because everything is not gonna work on your timeline. And if it did, then there will really be no challenge, to be honest. Now, I still got a lot of growing up to do, honestly, but I realized that I'd be in a way better position if I would have just took my time and been patient and not just force the timeline. In certain situations, it's good to give yourself 30 days. It's good to give yourself 60 to 90 days, a year, 2 years. But, now that I think more long term, it's like, why force yourself to think in constraints like that? Like I said, it's a time and a place, but for the season that I'm in and the trajectory that my life is going, thinking long term is probably the best way to go. It definitely is the best way to go. There is no probably. But understanding that with consistency and long term planning and planning for your plan to not go according to plan, right, is what's going to make all the difference. And focusing on being able to endure, because you might have to read 10 pages a day. You might have to work out every single day. You might have to study every single day. You might have to shoot that YouTube video every single day. You might have to study your analytics every single day, but you do that every single day for the next 7 years, 15 years, even 20 years, it's gonna compound. And I was just telling my brother when we was at the gym, I was reading the psychology of money, and I put myself in a certain situation mentally. I'm like, damn, I'm 23 right now. 20 years from now, I'll be 43. Like, and that's still a great life to live. Let's say if I was to do YouTube for the next 20 years, invest into real estate the next 20 years, learn how to trade, learn how to run a profitable clothing brand, learn how to build a profitable personal brand. Like over the next 20 years, that is going to compound the experience, the leverage, the relationships, the knowledge, everything. So stop trying to think so short term because trying to compare yourself, trying to compare your results to somebody who's in year 7 and you're only in month 7, that's gonna fuck your whole trajectory up. Excuse my language, but it's gonna distract you from where you need to be. Because for one, everybody is not on the same mission. Everybody's not on the same timeline. We don't play by the same rules, and we don't have the same advantages and disadvantages as somebody else. So why are you looking at somebody else if it's not for inspiration? You can get inspiration, but as far as like getting certain advice or guidance, you got to see what that person is doing in your life and understand, okay, this may or may not be applicable for me because we're playing two different games. So just slowing down and understanding what game you're playing, understand what game you want to play because it's going to take time regardless of what you're doing. The time is going to pass anyway. So I could have been 4 years deep into any of those endeavors I had mentioned in the past, but I'm not because I stopped. And, I understand. Damn, I'm stuttering. I understand now that I didn't fail. I stopped. So now, more than ever, being consistent is the main thing. And you gotta build that muscle of consistency. Just do it every day. It don't gotta be a whole lot. It can just be a little bit every day. But if you don't miss a day, or let's say even if you do miss a day, don't miss 2 days in a row. Cause missed days hurt you better. Missed days hurt you more than the days that you are there. So just keep that in mind. You don't gotta be perfect. Nobody's perfect. So go ahead and get that out of your head right now. But Just understand it's a refining process. Definitely got to review, got to refine, and then repeat. Review what you did, refine what you did, make it better, and then just repeat. And then over time, over the next 6 months to 6 years, and then you'll look up. It would have been 6 decades, bro. Like your life would look. It will finally look how you want it to look. But trying to force your reality to bend to your imagination, it doesn't work like that, and that's childish. That's childish to think that way. Like I said, that falls under the umbrella of Peter Pan syndrome or man-child syndrome, and it doesn't necessarily hit all the points, but that's definitely one of the points that hit me. So just understanding reality demands results. Reality doesn't bend to your imagination, and if you think it does, you got to grow up. You got to grow up, and not saying that your imagination can't come to pass or your imagination can't come true, but you got to understand it won't be when you expect it to. It won't be on your timeline. You can't control that. But what you can control is the inputs that you put in. You can control what you put in, but whatever comes out, that's a byproduct of what you put in. So don't worry about the outcome. Just like I said, enjoy the process. Focus on the process, and everything else is gonna flow naturally. It has to. That's like a principle. That's the law of nature. Period. Whether it's human nature or geographical nature, it's a law. It's a principle, and all principles are microcosm of each other. All principles work whether it's money, finance, whether if it's with content, regardless of what it is. So don't overcomplicate it. Just understand what game you playing. Understand it may take longer than what you expect, and sometimes it's a blessing if it happens quicker than you expect. But don't bet all your chips on it happening right when you want it to happen.